How's things, Robyn?
Things are great.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to another episode of Love Your Business Cafe. Here,
Thank you. Thanks for the
business.
opportunity.
That's awesome. You're an absolute great candidate to bring on for many reasons. One is that I know you love your business, and another one is that I know you're quite bold in what you do. So, that's the two things that we do at Love Your Business. And totally cool.
Perfect.
We do a little bit of work together. You're from Social Energy, a digital marketing agency based in Inglewood, near New Plymouth, Taranaki. Work with people across the country, including a couple of my clients, right? That's how we known each other for a while. So welcome, and maybe kick off a little bit of background about yourself. Take us back a little bit in time.
Back in time. So I suppose I'm Taranaki born and bred, but I did live in the UK for 15 years. So my husband is English, he's from Yorkshire, and I lived in Yorkshire and London, over those 15 years, and my two children were born over there as well. So we've been back in New Zealand it was 6 years in March. So, and that time has really flown by. And my background in the UK was working in marketing. It started out in the music industry, so promoting events, and back then it was all online forums and building communities around that. So that's been a real theme through all of my marketing work. I then went on to work up north for another record label, and then I went into the student accommodation sector, which in the UK is big purpose-built housing schemes. So they were all over the country, and I was the national marketing manager for that as well. And again, pioneered social media marketing back then. So I've been around in the online marketing space for a long, long time. And then moving back here, my role here was working as a general manager for the TET Stadium in Inglewood. And again, really raised the profile for that facility. But it's been a really exciting role. And I just did my marketing on the side, my marketing business on the side.
So you've recently gone full out, yes? I
have, yes. So I think we're into week 3 of being 100% self-employed.
That's right. So you're following the story a little bit. And yes. So tell us what's changed and...
Yeah, I mean...
finally make that move, yeah.
I feel like it's my 6-year or 7-year overnight success because when we left the UK, the plan for me totally was to set up my own virtual marketing agency. Back then, the focus was going to be on social media. But when we arrived in New Zealand, and I don't know, smaller city in New Zealand, even though I was originally from this region, I didn't really have any contacts here other than family and a couple of friends. Most of my friends were overseas and stuff. So I didn't have any business contacts really. And it felt a bit daunting to actually set up in business in this environment because I didn't know enough. I didn't have enough contacts. So I went safe and decided to get a job. And so that was great. But all the way through, I've just always wanted to have my own business. So I've always had a side hustle of one sort or another. But Social Energy itself, I mean, I already had the logo created. I set up the company all before we left the UK. So it has been a long time in the making, but only because I have worked full time and have done it on the side. And it's been in various different forms. So helping the old client out, I worked for TGM Creative as a marketing strategist for them, for their clients for a year, again on the side. So it's lots of extra hours and work. And I think last year I just got to the point where I was just tired of just doing it on the side, and I thought, you've just got to do it, Robyn. Just have courage, just take that leap of faith and commit to doing it. And so I did, but even then, what I decided I was going to do was specialize in social media, even though I've got a background in all sorts of digital media marketing. And I decided that I was going to focus on chatbots. And so, because I love them and I think they're amazing, and I thought, right, I'll niche right down, because I couldn't see anyone else that was doing them. The clue should have been there. And I thought I just love creating them. But I kept being drawn to the strategy side, and the clients that were hiring me were actually wanting overall marketing strategy, you know, some email marketing, the social media, website copy, lead magnet, all of the stuff that we do online. So I thought that was quite interesting, and I thought, okay, well, that's fine. That might be how it goes starting out, but I'm still determined to do chatbots. And so by Christmas, I thought I'll niche further down and be really focused on the hospitality industry, because they utilize Facebook a lot. I was thinking e-commerce, but I thought no, hospitality, because I do have a bit of a background in that. So I thought events, restaurants, hotels, tourism. And then, as we all know what happened, come March, that blew that business plan right out of the water. So everything that I'd built, the website, all my marketing, all the chatbot demos I'd built, all the work I'd put in, I kind of just had to go step aside and think, no, this is a sign. People are asking me for different work. They're not asking me for chatbots, they're asking me for marketing help. So that would be my first tip, is actually really listen to what people are needing. And I mean listen by understanding what people are asking online, and asking, you know, just pay really close attention to what people are needing from you, and, you know, craft a business around that, not on something you think you'd like to do. But
you know, just in defense of chatbots, it's a little bit...
Oh yeah, I still love them. I still do them.
The power of them is a little bit unknown, right?
Mm.
I find it quite, it's quite amazing what can be done now. Versus even, like, I don't know, maybe half a year ago. For the people developing with them, and it does take that strategy. If it fits in the strategy, it'd be great. Yeah.
I use them in my own business and a couple of other clients, and yeah, there's definitely a place for them. There just wasn't a place for me to do it entirely as a business.
Okay, yeah, no, so we understand that a bit better. That's cool. Now, it's not just you by yourself, right? You started with contractors and people around you, expertise, you know, so you are the key pin. Is that correct? That's how I understand it?
Yeah, so you describe me as a digital marketing agency, but really it's a virtual marketing agency. So that was my goal right from the beginning, that I would have a team of freelancers who are experts in their field. And I essentially am the marketing strategist and the person that holds everything together. I'm the only person that the client deals with, but I have 4 freelancers so far that specialise, for example, in Facebook ads, in social media management, copywriting, and also email marketing as well, looking to add in someone who can help with SEO, someone who can help with Google Ads. So the benefit to a client is that they're paying just one fee, dealing just with one person who's overseeing the whole strategy and making sure that everything is joined together. So we're not doing anything in isolation. There's no silos of marketing. That there is a cohesive plan, and yeah, and the clients are loving that, because they're just dealing with one person rather than going, oh, I need to find someone to do SEO, or I need to find someone to do some social media. I can be that one-stop shop.
I suppose I mentioned digital because social media is a concept. Quite often people think, oh, you know, you're on Facebook and I just need to do Facebook posts. So I just try to get away from it a little bit.
Yeah.
That's why I mentioned digital, right? Virtual agency, it's a new novel thing. You know, we're not all sitting in the same place. And that allows you, I suppose, the opportunity to work with people all across the country and actually getting the best of the best, working together as a team, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, you know, personally also, we work almost virtually now, and nowadays it becomes the thing to do, isn't it? Online.
Yeah, I love it. I'm actually but there is a term for is it extroverted introvert? Like I'm very happy just being at home, or just, you know, being online and not having to go out anywhere. And yeah, so it suits me perfectly. That's probably why I've designed it that way.
So what's your vision for the company? Like, how big is this thing going to go?
Yeah, well, how big? I mean, we've been absolutely flat out. A lot of people needing marketing support at this time, or a lot of people just seeing the benefit of just having one person that they come to for an overall strategy and to get a lot of the stuff that they want to do, but it's a bit, I know I need to do some email marketing, but I don't know where to start. I live and breathe marketing. I'm learning every day. I read every day, I listen every day, I just absorb it all. I utilize it in client campaigns. So I take all that away from you. You don't have to think about what is the best, because I can do that.
Now,
so
you can just sort of ask a question slightly towards, you know, other people starting out in COVID times. Okay, so you did this in the midst and you changed your direction.
Yep, I did a full pivot.
Things. Plus, I suppose, you know, in terms of you're a busy mum, husband working away from home, that thing sometimes.
Solo mum during the week.
All this stuff in, right?
Yeah.
A temptation, you know, what I would think be logical is you go, okay, I'll do a few hours on the side. Yeah. But you've had enough of that. So if you're thinking now in terms of people, for example, they're thinking now, okay, that working from home thing, that could be something I like, or, you know, my job might not be as safe as it was, and I might need to think about my own business. Or, you know, people that have an inkling they want to, or they've always been sitting on an idea. What would you say to people like that?
Yep.
How would they actually make a jump, you know?
Yeah, make the jump. So first of all, I couldn't make the jump until I knew that I was earning enough to replace my full-time income. So that's the number one thing. But you have to have a strategy around that as well. For me, you have a need to earn figure and a want to earn figure. And forget the want to earn figure. The most important one is your need to earn straight away. But then you've got to break that down into how are you going to create that figure? How many, you know, so say if it's for me with services, if I have how many done for you or done with you marketing packages do I need to have? So how many clients do I need to have that figure? And I had to do a lot around pricing as well, because I thought, hang on, that's going to mean that I need 20 clients, and actually, can I do that all on my own? So think really carefully about what you can outsource as well. That's really important, and build that in early on. So have a clear understanding about certain tasks that could be outsourced, but also be really clear on what your packages are going to be, or how much your product is and how many you need to sell, and then work to that figure. So that was all I did. I literally had it written up on the board, and I worked it out, and that was my goal. Okay,
so do you end up, you know, going hunting for some clients, like in terms of you knew who you wanted to go after, who you could add value to? Did you actually do some direct approaches as well?
I did, and I would actually say, I think around social media and your marketing, all of that, do not put so much energy into that you forget to actually go out and reach out to people. So all of the work I've got, I'm starting to get, you know, brand new leads in now from people I've never heard from before.
Yeah.
But initially, I was really focused on reaching out to my network and who I knew, just letting them know what I was doing, what I could do, and did they need some help, or do they know anyone else that could use my services, you know, and obviously offering if I can help with anything they need in return. So I sent emails, I made phone calls. I did not rely on my marketing alone at all. Obviously I was doing that along the side, but don't be under any illusion that when you're first starting out that your marketing is going to, all these people are going to come flooding into you. You have to reach out to people.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? And then there's a lot of people that won't think of that. They think of, you know, this to come to them, or as long as I post on social media, I'll be fine and people will find me.
Yeah, or I just need to have the perfect website. So I'm going to spend lots of time just making sure that's all perfect. The only hold up for my website was because I couldn't get a haircut until we went to lockdown to level whatever it was. So I had it all ready and done. So I knew I needed a new website, but I couldn't make it live until I had a haircut.
So you got to have some basic values there. You know, it's all important.
Of course.
Right? Look good, right?
Yeah.
Now, just in terms of be bold, right? I noticed, for example, you're quite comfy on Facebook Live, right?
Yeah.
And if I know anything to be true, is that video content and that type of thing, very attractive, right? That's, I had to get myself over this hurdle in terms of, yeah, so I'm doing a little side thing where I interview other people instead of me talking myself. Just
baby steps, yeah.
I suppose just to you know, just to be transparent there, yeah. But how do you look at that? You can say, "Oh, just be brave and do it." What would your advice be?
I think, you know, video is daunting for people. I can tell you a little bit of a story how about I got into Facebook Lives in a bit, but essentially being bold for me is not just doing Facebook Lives, and the whole ethos behind social energy is around making connections with your customers or people who are interested in your business and creating some energy around that. And the energy only comes from you being present in your marketing. And by that, I don't mean endless selfies. I mean, you know, your about page on your website, it tells of a journey that you've been through for your business and, you know, what your values are and what's important to you. It's not like I did this degree and I've done this and I've done that. Like, share a story, like how you know, what drove you to create this business. You can also do it in, you know, regular emails that go out where you're just sharing your journey. I think it's a really important thing for businesses to do, is not, you know, we're all in challenging times now, and I think it's important, and your audience loves to hear and be a part of your journey.
So the person in the brand, yeah?
Yeah, the person in the brand. And if it's you know, a company, like the people behind it. But there's always a founder, someone who started the ball rolling, and you know, there's key people in the business, and you know, that's what people want to, they want to get behind you and cheer you on and understand what your passions are, and that's what they resonate with. It's, you know, particularly on social media, it's social for a reason. And I think businesses often go down the route of being having to be very professional. I'm not saying to be unprofessional, but yeah, get the branding right. It's all very curated and all very, yeah, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, not authentic enough. And, you know, just to tell stories and to tell a journey.
Focused on the product and the services instead of...
Yeah, but people actually want to know the story behind that, and they want to know that, or they want to be part of it. If you're creating a new product, like, ask people what they think. Do you prefer it in green or red? Or, you know, are you, I don't know, you can ask people. People love that. And that's what being bold to me means, is actually putting yourself in your marketing. And that doesn't mean endless selfies. It can mean Facebook Lives. I'm a huge advocate for Facebook Lives. But it can mean lead magnets you create, your website copy, social media.
Okay. And in terms of being bold in business, slightly away from the marketing economy, right? Then I'm sort of hearing you say showing up, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Owning the show.
Showing up, I'm a big fan of done is better than perfect, because I think we can get super paralyzed thinking, oh, well, it's just not quite right. I need to tinkle around it. And sometimes that's a procrastination technique. Oh, well, I'll just play around with it a bit more. But sometimes you just got to get out there and do it. And, you know, if it falls flat on you, you know, I've launched a couple of things or started a few things that haven't actually done anything fantastic. But I'm not bothered about that, because I gave it a go and I learned something from it. And I create something different. So, yeah, I think you just have to have a healthy dose of courage, and just do it. Just get it out there. Don't overthink it. Just start and see where it goes.
Oh, that's great, helpful advice. Thank you.
Go on, do it. Do that Facebook Live.
That's right. Now, just to get to know you a little bit better as a person, right? Life's ups and downs. Has it always, you know, have you got lots of highs? I imagine I'm seeing you in big concerts and record editions and, you know, starting my family up in England, and it's all fantastic. Yeah. Has life always been up, or, you know, would you mind?
Yeah. I mean, overall life has been amazing, and I can't complain of anything in life. The only challenges I've had is with facial nerves, would you believe? So in the UK, I was sick for nearly 2 years with a condition called trigeminal neuralgia, which is a excruciatingly painful condition where I couldn't smile. It would come in waves anyway. I couldn't smile, couldn't eat, couldn't kiss, couldn't talk, couldn't apply lip gloss, which was devastating for me. So it was extremely painful, and I was very fortunate to be living in Sheffield at the time with a specialist there who did some pioneering brain surgery on me. And that was very scary in itself. My mum came over from New Zealand to look after me. I was unwell for maybe 9 or 10 weeks after that, recovering, but they put a bit of Teflon around my nerve that was affecting, it was around a blood vessel affecting a nerve. Anyway, long story short, I recovered, it was fine, it was the best thing I'd ever done. It was a scary decision to make, but it was all for the best. And then about 4 years ago, completely unrelated as far as we can tell, I got sick with Bell's palsy. So that was brought on by stress. So a completely different facial nerve, but it's still on the same side. So this is why I wear my hair like this, because I've now got a squinty eye. I'm not winking at you. So I got Bell's palsy, and that was hands down the scariest experience. If anyone's familiar with it, I'd never heard of it before, but essentially one side of your face is you wake up completely paralyzed on one side of your face. So for someone who's always been confident and outgoing, it just stripped me of all my confidence. I've never before experienced what it's like to be stared at. I have newfound empathy for anyone with a disability, or who looks slightly different, because people notice you staring, because I definitely did. So yeah, that was a hugely pivotal time in my life.
Has it changed your life, or the way, your philosophy of life as well?
It has. It's probably the biggest. I've always been big on courage anyway, so I've always been just make decisions and get on with it. For me, it brought a different level of courage around, I suppose, self-belief and appearances, and understanding that appearances are not important. It's about sharing your story as well. And that's where my love of Facebook Lives came about, because I started just sharing my story in the hope that it would inspire others to have courage, and just share what I'd learned. So I learned so much about a couple of key things that I learned, because it was brought on by stress, and there was a particular situation going on in my life where I was probably blaming other people a lot for things. And so one of the key things I've learned, and I do instill on my children as well, I think it's so important, is taking 100% responsibility for everything. And that even if it's a situation out of your control, you can take responsibility for how you react to it. So it's very timely at this time, when we all had that sort of shock news yesterday about the levels changing and that uncertainty. I don't have control over that, but I do have control over how I'm going to approach that. It helped back when we went into lockdown. I had to completely change my business. And, I'm still in control, because I'm deciding how I'm going to react to that situation. So I think that's probably the biggest lesson I learned. The second one is learn to say no. I had way too much on my plate, and anyone who knows me probably for the last 9 months, I've probably had way too much on my plate again, growing the business while working full time and having to work longer in my job than I expected because of COVID. But the lesson I learned was just saying no to everything that is not going to help you. If it's feeling like it's a burden, or it's going to be overwhelming, because I was such a yes person, but now with everything, I'm very comfortable saying no to things to keep myself well and focused.
Yeah, but you're growing your business, and the next thought is like, I would just get busier. Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose one thing that is where you have straight from the start decided that outsourcing is the way to go.
Mm.
So that at least keeps it within bounds and still being able to financially grow your business, right?
Yeah, it is. It enabled me. I just knew exactly how much the outsourcing, I knew what I needed to outsource, how much it was going to cost, how I needed to create the packages to serve that, how many of those packages and clients I needed to have to be able to leave my job comfortably, and then how that was going to be able to scale, because having it out certain tasks outsourced means I can scale a lot quicker. If I was trying to do it all my own, I would still be, maybe.
So is busyness in terms of stress, is that the only thing that causes stress for you?
What's that?
I mean, you said, okay, I've controlled it now by learning how to say no. Okay, so in terms of workload, right? But would anything else cause stress for you?
I suppose my brain is very busy. Like I'm a real ideas person as well, and I can tend to go down a bit of a rabbit hole with a certain idea. So I have to have so I can get stressed and overwhelmed if I'm taking on too much information of my own doing.
Okay.
So I have to set out certain segments of my day where I'm going to focus on learning or taking on board something new or trying to figure something out.
Yeah.
And also, being really focused in time segments as well. So that keeps me disciplined. Like if I go, right, I don't know if you heard the Pomodoro technique, where it's 25 minutes. I try and stick to that and stay focused on one task, because otherwise I'll just go off on a tangent. And that stresses me out. So that's how I cope with that, by just having a real structure to my day.
Yeah, because, you're for yourself alone. I know you're a great fan of Trello boards. It's
not anymore. ClickUp.
Apparently now you've got some other one. So
ClickUp, it's changed my life.
We just caught up with the Trello board, so a lot of clients are using that now.
And it's great. Yeah.
It's visual and easy to move around and stuff. But you got to sort of grab something and then run with it. Yeah. But it's about being able to cope with a lot of tasks. Particularly if you're a creative person, there's all the stuff happening, and how do you keep it in some sort of order, right? So you're big on sort of planning, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, project management is something I love. I don't know, I just love having the strategy and then creating all the tasks related to that. Like I love that. That's probably why I love ClickUp and things like Trello, because I can visualize a whole process and then be really clear on when things are due and things. And I think for me, raving about ClickUp, one of the things I was getting stressed about, if we go back to that, was taking on quite a lot of clients quite quickly, and feeling the need that I had to serve everyone immediately with their needs, and that getting a bit overwhelming. So I've created a few more boundaries on when I'm working on certain clients' work, or they can access my project management tool, so they know that, Thursday she's going to be working on that. So I think I'm always feeling like I have to do stuff straight away, and that became very overwhelming. So that's been really good, having really clear when certain tasks are being done for clients, not just myself.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. Can I just shift the subject slightly and to go back to your core business, online marketing, in terms of online presence and that, how important is that really? I mean, people say, oh, look, without a website, you can't live, or if you're not online all the time, right? But a little bit online is not always going to cut the mustard either, is it? I think you need to take. How important is it, and what are the pitfalls with that?
Yep, I think you just need to take a balanced approach. I mean, good old networking and reaching out to people, picking up the phone and emailing is just as good as getting business in, but people are still going to check you out. Like I think a lot of people have this issue around, say, Facebook, for example, not all social media platforms, but Facebook, and that the organic reach has dropped, and that's fine. There's ways around that, but that's still your storefront. And even if you've been recommended, so say you recommend someone to me, or say you recommend me to someone else, they're still going to want to go check me out first. They're not just going to pick up the phone or email me without having a quick look at my website or checking out my social media platforms, whatever they prefer. So it's really important that you've got, you know, your good content on there and explaining what you do and how you help people. I think the pitfalls, so therefore my answer is you need to have a digital presence, absolutely. And also if you're trying to even just find new leads in, people are searching online. Like, we don't have the yellow pages anymore. People go on Google to search for stuff. So it's important that if you're creating content on your website, updating content regularly, it is answering the questions that people are asking, because that's where people search for information. I think the pitfalls are that, one, with online marketing, so be that website or social media, that businesses are talking too much about themselves and not talking with their customer in mind. They're not writing their content thinking about what answers, what questions that their potential client needs answering. They're just saying, we do this, we're awesome at this, check out this, we sell this, buy this now, you know, but it's not actually helping people go from, okay, well, you sell this book on vegan cooking, but what's in it? Like, or where do I go to buy the online version? Or, you know, what are some of the transformations people have had when they've bought this book? And so all of that sort of content is missing on a lot of people's online presence. So I think that's probably the pitfall, is rather than broadcasting out what you think you want, everyone wants to hear, is really understand what your potential clients, what your ideal clients are looking for and what answers they have in their head. It's almost building this bridge with words that I know we've talked about before. You've got your ideal customer here who has all these questions about this thing they want to buy, or they've got this problem and they need it solving. And then you've got your content on your website, and it needs to, and you know your awesome product and service is amazing, but you've got to create a bit of content that's going to help your ideal client go, oh no, they can help me because someone else has said they're awesome. Oh, I had that question about how much it was and it was on there. I can understand the systems they use. Okay, I'm confident now to buy. So does that make sense?
It makes sense, totally. But the thing that pops up in my head is, as a business owner, there's 1,000 things you need to do. You seem to have to be good at everything and understand everything. I think probably the key thing that I would like to contribute is that the marketing is massively important. And you don't need to know everything, but you do need to understand that it's important.
Yeah.
And as a result, you know, it's valuable to spend time and money on it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think if you're spending time and money on marketing, making sure that you are making the most of every opportunity. So repurposing content, making sure that you've got strong calls to action, you're capturing all your leads, there's a follow-up process in place, that people aren't just sort of landing on the website and then just disappearing, that there is a way to connect with them and take them through that buying journey.
Yeah. Idea?
And otherwise that is a waste of money.
Hey, that's been awesome. Thank you, Robyn. I think we sort of have to wrap it up.
Yes, fine. Could talk for ages.
We can talk for hours. No problem at all. Yeah, this is a never-ending story. So, how do people work with you? Like, how did it get to? Like, how? Like, what levels of? How would it go?
Yeah, essentially, I have two main marketing packages, which are marketing done with you and marketing done for you. So it kind of caters to two people: those businesses that just want some advice, support, some strategy building, some systems building, someone to sound ideas off, ideas for content on social media, how to best do email campaigns, just someone who can sort of build some structure around their marketing, but they're primarily doing the marketing themselves. And then done for you, as the name would suggest, is I am your virtual marketing manager. So rather than employing someone to do it, you're employing me and my team to run your marketing for you. The other alternative as well is if you just want a bit of advice, I have a day of Voxer. It is, you can check that out on my, what is that?
What's the Voxer thing? What is
Voxer is an app. It's like a walkie-talkie app, and it's proven, rather than just a power hour where you just get an hour of consultancy, but it's jam-packed and it's worthwhile, absolutely. But often then you get busy at work and then you've kind of forgotten and will never get around to it. A day of Voxer, you can spread out the conversation over 12 hours. We're not sat talking to each other for 12 hours, I hasten to add. You can be picking up kids from school, you can be busy meeting clients, you can go to the gym, but we're just having conversations back and forth, nutting out an idea. So trying to clear a bit of fog around a particular marketing issue you might be having. It doesn't work so well for anything technical, but it's really good if you're trying to understand your clients better, or you've got a new product you want to launch and don't really understand how to build the marketing around it. You're wanting to rebrand your business, or it's a conversation over a day.
Over during the day, little 5-10 minute slot stuff thing. Is that what is it?
Yeah, and we just share ideas back and forth and work on an idea, and by the end of it you've got a really clear idea, you've got some stuff you've created, you're really clear on what your next steps are. So there's that. And then I'm really excited now that I'm not working full time to be able to do workshops as well. So I'm starting with some workshops at the end of this month around social media, email and Facebook ads through the Chamber of Commerce. So here in Taranaki and New Plymouth. And then they will also be online as well. So that's my big goal is over the next month is to get them up and running.
Well, awesome. This has been great. Thank you, Robyn, for all the insights and, and sharing all that information with us about yourself and about your new business, and all the best, obviously. It's going all off with a roar anyway, but long may it continue.
Yeah.
And look forward to speaking with you again soon. Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you for your support over this time as well. I have to say, you know, you've been really pivotal in those early stages of really helping me see through the fog of changing my business model, and I'm grateful for your support. So, and thank you for the opportunity to share my story.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll talk soon.